Hi and welcome to No Cheese. Today I'm gonna make rhubarb and strawberry pie with vanilla sauce. Now we're gonna begin with the vanilla sauce. First I'm gonna put the dried vanilla beans into the saucepan. I'm gonna slice them up in half all the way down so that the seed can come out into the liquid. And now I'm gonna add 1.1 deciliter of sugar into the saucepan. Now I'm gonna use 1 tablespoon of cornstarch into this. And now I'm gonna get the milk. Now I'm gonna add maybe 1 tablespoon into this. So I will blend it with quite little milk first, so it will be without lumps. It's very important to stir so you don't get any lumps left. So here you can see I will add more milk to this, so it will be 1 deciliter. Stir a little bit, and I'm gonna put it in here together with the sugar. And now I'm gonna add 8 deciliter more of milk. Now I'm gonna make this to boil and stir so that the sugar will be blended into the milk. And it actually should boil in 2 minutes. But first it has to begin boiling. And you see here the seeds from the vanilla beans is going to burst out in the milk. Now it has begun boiling, and now I will boil this for 2 minutes. So you can lower the temperature so it's actually boiling, but with little bit lower heat than before. Actually the cornstarch needs a couple of minutes to make the total thickness it can give. Now it has been boiling for 2 minutes, so I will put this aside. I think it's good to stir once in a while so it not happens something stupid here. It can be skin at least, so stir a little bit once in a while. Actually, I also like to say that this have to be a little bit more cool, about 65 degrees Celsius. That is my goal temperature, going from 100 degrees Celsius to 65 degrees. I'm gonna leave it so it will cool to 65 degrees Celsius. Approximately. I think 75 degrees is okay also, but 65 I think is best. Now it's time to put in the yolks into this saucepan. 5 yolks actually. So I'm gonna weigh this afterwards so you can see exactly how many grams of yolks it actually is. And the egg whites I don't use in this dish. Tips that if you hold this, it can be removed. I will strain this anyway, but it can be good to know in other cases when you don't want to strain something. And now it's time to weigh the yolks. The saucepan have a weight of 1011 grams, and now we see we have 1093 grams. So the yolks actually have a weight of 82 grams. Why am I telling you this about the weight of the yolks? Actually, eggs are different sizes. So if you have small eggs, you need more yolks. I have quite large egg, like a breakfast egg, and this size I need 5 yolks. Now I forget this, you see the skin here. I will put this off. So I had to stir a little bit more. Put the egg whites into the fridge for later use. Maybe a meringue. Now it's time to add the milk into the yolks. But first I'm gonna mix the yolks a little bit. And now hopefully this is about 65 degrees Celsius. So I will add a little bit of milk at a time. And if you have this type of saucepan, it can be good to have the pipe here so the milk can run here and hopefully reach this saucepan also. So now I'm gonna have a little bit at a time and stir all the time. And now you see how it's coming into the saucepan. And all the vanilla beans are also going to put in here. Now I'm going to heat this up to 84 degrees Celsius. And what I'm looking for here is actually the yolks getting the best thickening effect when heated up to 84 degrees Celsius. So that will add a little bit of thickness to the sauce, in addition to the cornstarch. But the important is that the yolks shouldn't be heated up more than 84 degrees Celsius. Otherwise it will be an omelette in small pieces into this sauce, and that we don't like to have. And it's actually very important to stop the heat when reaching 84 degrees Celsius. And it's not enough to only put off the stove because the saucepan is hot in the bottom. So you need to actually put it over to another cold saucepan that we have here at the side. And when doing that, the heating process will absolutely stop. It's not so long left to 84 degrees. Some people said that it is 85 degrees, but I have tried and I didn't get it. It can be very wrong, so I don't use 85 degrees. As you see here, we have the vanilla beans left here, so it should actually be here. So I will now strain this, but maybe I have to stir this a little bit because I have some vanilla seeds in the bottom and on the side here. So I will stir it a little bit first. Now I'm gonna cool this in a bath of water. I can move this down a little bit. And I will add so much water so the saucepan actually floats, and it will be a couple of centimeters of water between the bottom of the saucepan and the bottom of the sink. So I like to have cold water under the bottom of the saucepan so it will cool as much as I like. Be careful because it can go in water into the saucepan if you're not careful enough. It's floating now, you see. So it's important to stir a little bit once in a while so it not will be skin. It's most important until it reaches 65 degrees Celsius. Lower temperature than that, it will not create any skin. But it can be good to stir anyway because it will cool faster. When this have reached about 30 degrees Celsius, I will put this into the fridge, and it's best to have it there for at least 12 hours. When have it in the fridge, it will be more thick as well. And not at least, the vanilla beans will continue give taste to the vanilla sauce. The vanilla sauce is now in the fridge, and I will recommend you to make the vanilla sauce the day before you make the pie. Something that you can also prepare at least 5 hours before you're making the pie is actually to cool the flour blend. This is actually 1 deciliter of flour, 2 deciliter of oats, fiber oats, 1 deciliter of almond flour and 1 deciliter of sugar. And this actually should be cool in the fridge for at least 5 hours before you're making the pie. And I will come to that later. Now it's time to prepare the rhubarbs. I will chop it like this. 1 centimeter length, approximately. And I prefer that the rhubarbs is dry, so if you wash it in water you will have some paper and dry it a little bit, so it not have so much water, because it will be so much liquid in this pie anyway. And some people use some starch to remove the liquid, but I don't think you need that. Actually, it is about 350 grams of rhubarbs. I forget something. I have to put on the oven on 220 degrees Celsius. I also gonna chop 350 grams of strawberries. This is fresh strawberries, but you can use frozen as well. Also the rhubarbs you can use frozen. Now I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar into this rhubarbs and strawberry mix. I'm also gonna add 1 tablespoon of cinnamon powder. And now I'm gonna add a half deciliter of Grand Marnier. Measure carefully. And now I'm going to add also a half lime, which I'm going to press into this. Lime and strawberry actually is a very good combination. Now it's time to stir this. And now I'm going to put this into the oven, 220 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. That's because the rhubarbs have to be a little bit pre-cooked in the oven. Now it's time to prepare the crumb dough. And as I have told you before, this mix has been in the fridge for 5 hours at least, actually since yesterday. So it's no problem to prepare it when you prepare the vanilla sauce. I'm gonna add a few ingredients more into this. First I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and then I'm gonna add 0.5 teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna add everything into the food processor and mix the dry ingredients first. Actually, why these dry ingredients are cold. I have it cold because it will make heat when using the food processor. And the butter should be cold as well, so keep the ingredients cold in order to make crumb dough. Now these have been in the oven for 10 minutes, so I have to put it out. I will continue to divide the butter into small pieces. I will divide it in 1 by 1 centimeter cubes. It is 100 grams of butter. And it is directly from the fridge, so it is cold. Now it's time to mix in the butter in the dry ingredients. And it's important that you not mix too long, because the butter will be hot and it will not be a perfect crumb dough if you do like that. So not too long. I think that's enough. And now I'm gonna have this crumb dough over the rhubarbs and strawberry. So now this is gonna go into the oven for 30 minutes. In the middle of the oven. Now the pie have been in the oven for 30 minutes, so it's finished. And I also get out the vanilla sauce from the fridge. So I'm gonna take some of this delicious rhubarb and strawberry pie. And I think the perfect serving temperature is about 50 degrees Celsius, I think. So now it is very hot. So I have to make it rest for a couple of minutes. Now I'm gonna add some vanilla sauce, and I love this vanilla sauce. I like to have very much, but I will put so much sauce that represents the dish. And now it's time to try. Perfect. I like it very much. This is actually a combination that often is eaten in the summer in Sweden. Making this pie with different type of berries and rhubarbs in this case. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.